And we're back with the video sit-downs on MasonWebTV.com. Diedrich Allen off camera, on camera. Mark Core, he's running for Mason County Commissioner, District Number 2. Mark, you're a Republican.
Correct.
What else can you tell us about Mark Core?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here this morning. I truly appreciate it. I've had quite a few people ask me why I chose to run for Mason County Commissioner, and it's a real easy answer. I mean, for me, I grew up here in Mason County. I've lived here the majority of my life. I'm raising my family here. My son just graduated a week ago, in fact. Mason County citizens are not only just the citizens, or not only citizens, but they're my friends. I care about them. I care about them a lot, and I care about this region. I have worked hard for everything that I've done in my life. I've worked in the retail industry for 16 years, and I was taught at a young age by my father that you really push yourself and you work hard for what you want to achieve. And I had a coach a long time ago in the 5th and 6th grade that really put the values to me of what good hard work means. But in retail, I started out in meat department cleanup. So I was at the bottom, and I worked my way up. And in my last 8 years, I managed a retail grocery industry, or store, excuse me, with an annual revenue budget between $5 and $6 million. I had roughly about 45 employees, managed 7 perimeter departments. So I know I have the leadership skills to do the duties of the position. I also worked for Mason County for 11 years directly for the Mason County Board of County Commissioners in the Department of Community Development. I'm very aware of the functions of the departments down there, and I'm passionate about what I do, and I'm passionate about the fact that I know I can make a difference. And I've sat back and witnessed just the poor customer service by the Board of Commissioners, and the ongoing lack of leadership, lack of attentiveness to duty, lack of even being in the office, treating it like it's a part-time duty when it really isn't. And I look at these things, and it's my method of operation. I know I can make a difference. I'm ready to get in there. I'm ready to go to work, and I'm not doing it for myself. I want to do it for the citizens of Mason County. I want to do it for my kids that are choosing to live here. I think that silence is consent, and we need to get in there and do something to make a difference, and that's what I'm doing. So.
Okay, Mark, a set of questions that you have seen, so you're prepared. So the first question is, what is the biggest issue or problem facing Mason County, and how do you plan to deal with it?
Well, I guess everyone would have a different perspective on what the biggest issue is, but I can tell you from firsthand experience that I feel the biggest issue right out of the gun is the fact that there's a lack of leadership by the Board of County Commissioners, a lack of involvement. They don't get involved in their departments that they directly supervise. They're very rarely there in the office. It's a full-time duty. It requires a full-time commitment, nothing less. I mean, anything less than that is going to be just neglecting your duty and really truly letting down the citizens. I can think of. I worked like I said before, in the Department of Community Development in the Permit Center, which many people will refer to as the building department. I could probably count on both my hands the number of times I've seen all of the commissioners combined in that building. I can count on one hand, actually one finger, the time I've seen one particular commissioner in that building, and it was just to introduce themselves when they won the election, and that was it. You cannot supervise departments without getting involved. And once a week briefings for a 15-minute sit down isn't enough. The other thing that I see that I believe is a true lacking is I think that the elected officials need to work harder as a team and find common goals for the citizens of Mason County. Everyone has slightly different priorities, but you need to get them out there, get them up, get them listed, and put them in an order which works for the Mason County citizens, which is going to best serve them. And that hasn't been happening. We've all read the paper. We've all seen the difference of opinion, the squabbles going on. I think that some of the elected officials play together very well. However, I have witnessed the Board of Commissioners not playing with the other elected officials well at all, and that's got to stop. It's got to stop. I mean, I've been in board meetings where I've seen some real lack of respect and real lack of customer service and just treating people that have an issue that want to take their 5 minutes to speak poorly. And you would never get away with that in the private sector, and it shouldn't be allowed in the public sector. And I'm running to make the difference and to actually change these things that I've witnessed for so long. I mean, and I'm ready to do it.
So how do you propose to increase tax revenues to support current services in Mason County?
Well, that was a good question. I read that one, and quite honestly, number one, I'm not in favor of increasing taxes without a public vote. Now, that's not exactly the question, though. The question is increased tax revenues, and I understand that. But I feel that we need to promote business into Mason County, and we need to do that by promoting Mason County. But number one, even before that, we got to make sure that we keep the businesses that are here. We don't want to lose those people. We've got some very, very good businesses and some very great people. I've had the opportunity to visit a few of them, and we need to make sure that we retain those and keep them here. I think if we make it to where the business people that are here feel heard, feel that this is the place that they want to continue to do business, and also I think we need to get out there and promote Mason County. Mason County is beautiful. I mean, like I said, I've lived here for the majority of my life. I know that by watching television that I've seen they're promoting Grays Harbor County. In fact, I've seen Westport ads that make me want to drive down and go to Westport. And I think to myself, why don't we do some of that? Sometimes you've got to invest a little to get a little bit of a return, but we need to promote it, and we need to get business enticed to come here. Our cost of living is less than the big three. I mean, Pierce and Snohomish and King. I think there's some real opportunities here, but I think that also goes back to different departmental elected officials working together as a team for a common goal to promote Mason County.
Do you have a specific plan to attract business and industry to Mason County, and can you summarize it for us?
Well, there's probably a lot of really good plans to do that, but there again, I touched on it just a second ago, but I think that we can do something to promote it. I believe the Internet's a huge tool, and I believe that it is being underutilized. I think that we can get out there and get a Promote Mason County website and get literature and get some talking going and maybe get some commercials and get people interested in coming here. We have a huge amount of vacation properties in Mason County. And why can't we key off those people? Those people are living in Seattle and Tacoma and Renton and Snohomish and different places, and they're coming here to vacation. Obviously, they know the attraction. Maybe we need to utilize something with their voice, too. I mean, there's numerous things we can do, but the thing is we just need to get in there and do something and keep shooting for the bullseye. If you keep shooting for the bullseye, eventually you're going to get it. You're going to get the people here. But doing nothing isn't the answer, and talking about it for a year isn't the answer. You need to start.
What is Mason County's single biggest need?
I believe the single and biggest need is the lack of leadership, the lack of commitment, the lack of duty in the commission as it sits right now. I think that the Board of County Commissioners lack of the leadership that they've offered to the county and the real commitment to the county versus self-serving interest has cost us, and I think it's cost us loads of taxpayers' money. And I believe that if you have the right leadership in place that's going to get in there and work with a goal in mind of just serving the customer, not the customers, but excuse me, the citizens. That comes from retail. But you can make a difference. One person can make a difference. They just got to start, and they really have to believe in it and have to believe in what they're doing. And I haven't seen that. I've seen a 1 or 2 hour a day commission that as quickly as they get their duties done, they're off, and maybe they do have some outside arrangements, but I also know that that's not the whole of it. I know there's a lot of other little vested interests going on that need to stop, and I know that I don't have those other vested interests. My interest is solely to serve the people here.
Final question for you, Mark. What is your vision for Mason County?
Well, that's a good question. Let's see. I love it here. This is a beautiful place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. We've got excellent schools. We've got some of the best teachers. I was fortunate to, as my boys were going through activities, for them to get some of the best coaching staff that I had ever seen. Really great people. I think that as far as a vision, I'd like to see a continuation of that. But I really, truly believe strongly that we have to do things to maintain the business that is here. Let's not lose any more to Thurston County or to Tumwater or to different places. We can't afford to. We need living wage jobs here, and also promoting of new business coming in. I know the housing industry has been struggling for the last few years. I hope that's on a return. There's a lot of things we can do, but my vision is to. Well, here's another thing that I kind of wanted to touch on a little bit too. My vision also is to make sure that this is a safe place for citizens of Mason County, and what I mean by that is if our crime is down, if our traffic flows safely, if it's a safe environment for your families, it's going to encourage people to come here. And I know there's always been talk about the Sheriff's Department and the budgeting and whatnot there. I think there's ways to create the budget to get more boots on the ground, get more people out there, make sure that our citizens are safe. I really look forward to getting in there and going to work and actually doing some of these things. I can make one promise, and that's the promise that I will work very, very hard, and I'll be there and I'll be available.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Mark Corr. He is a candidate for Mason County Commissioner, District Number 2, and he's running as a Republican. Thanks for taking some time.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with our next candidate in about 15 minutes.